our next segment here, Rick's Corner. We're lucky to be joined by Rick here. He's one of the support directors we have. And Rick, you come across a lot of support tickets from customers. You have a lot of training calls with BD customers, and you have simple solutions to a lot of common questions here, right?
Yeah, that's right, Jason. Thank you very much for having me. Great presentation so far. And you're correct, we do run into a few questions often, and we like to discuss those during this Rick's Corner section.
All right, great. And I think the topic this week is especially helpful because it talks about how to edit the call to action links on the login page. So you obviously can input your username and password, but there's also links there that you can use for various reasons, whether it's just to sign up members or a great place to put a sponsored banner ad as well, I think.
Yes, that is completely correct. The idea behind today's topic is going to be discussing the login page. As the folks that have been with us for a while know, there was a different way to update this particular page. So it's actually very easy now. It's just a menu that you can easily manipulate. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Awesome. Let me pass over the controls to you, Rick, here.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the page that we're going to be focusing on today, the member login. So let me go ahead and jump over to the login page. And these are the two buttons that we're going to be editing today. So this is a menu, and let me go ahead and show you guys how easy it is to get there. There's a bit of a caveat here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go to the toolbox and I open up my menu manager right now, we're not going to see this as a menu, right? There's a reason behind this because this could happen to you guys. The simple fix is just to go to the dashboard. So I'm going to jump over to the dashboard one more time. And what we're looking for here are the software updates. So we have those software updates right here. If we click check available updates, we're going to see that it allows us to activate or to add this menu that we're going to be editing. So add login links menu. Let me go ahead and install this. Right, great. Now let me go back to the toolbox and open up the menu manager one more time. So we should be able to see the login page links now. All right, perfect. So now that we're able to see this, we're going to go in and edit this menu here. And there you go. This is the actual menu. So what we have here are a few things for those of you that know how to edit a menu, which is super simple. Here on the left, we have the wording that the person is going to be able to see on the front end. So if we compare this, this is going to be not a registered user, create an account today. And then the other one that we have underneath, well, that's the other button that we have here, are you a local business? So what a lot of people use this for is to guide their two different types of members to their respective either checkout page or their join page or an additional join page that they might need to create. So for instance, if you have vendors, but you also have members of your directory, you want to create a separate place for them to register, you can do so. You can create a static page and create that menu, and then simply add the link here. So we saw the wording, and here to the right, what we have is the link. So it allows us to add a direct link here to the page where you're going to start the registration process if you were to click that button. So as most of you already know, the /checkout/5 basically allows me to know that I'm going to be routed to membership level number 5 or product ID 5. In case you're wondering where to find this, very easy. Go to Finance, open up the Manage Product section, and here's where we're going to identify the ID. So here we have like product ID 5. Each membership level or product has its own unique ID. So it's just a matter of figuring out which one you want to link to the login page. So here we're going to be linking to the general user, which is the product ID 5, and that's what we have here. And if you were to have a different page that you want to send people to in order to start the registration process, you can by all means just update this accordingly. So any questions till now, Jason?
No, you bring up a good point there. So, if you have these links on the login page and you click on it and it goes to a 404 error page or the page doesn't exist, it probably means that it's linking to a product ID that isn't available on your site. Maybe you don't have 5 membership levels on your site. Maybe you just have 4. So it's no need to get flustered or anything. Just go to the menu manager and figure out which product ID you would like to link to.
Correct. So that's in case you want to have 2. Let's say that you want to get rid of 1. So we're going to get rid of this one right here. I'm just simply going to go to the menu. So here we have the actions button right here, and I'm just going to click delete. All right, so just delete this. Since there are 2 elements and now there's only 1, let me first of all save those changes. I need to also edit the CSS class real quick here. So I'm just going to get rid of everything and just leave the nav. All right, so I'm going to get rid of everything before the nav. Let me go ahead and save that. So basically by doing this, we only have 1 button now. And it's linking to checkout number 5. I just clicked edit so that I have those options here. And I basically got rid of everything and left the nav there. So if we go back to the login page, let's refresh. Let's see how this shows up. So now there's a full width button instead of 2 different buttons like what we had before. So in case you want to go that route, that's also a possibility. But like Jason hinted at the beginning, there's also, since this is so useful, such a useful spot, a lot of people are going to be logging into their accounts and it has a lot of usability. Then it's a great place to also add a banner, right? We have the banners available on our settings. I don't want to confuse anyone, but let me show you how easy this is. So like I said, we have the settings, and if we go ahead and open up the design settings, most of you are familiar with this section, which is the banner ads. Just wait for it to load real quick here. So it's the banner ad design tab, this one right here. I'm just going to open that up. Okay, and we're going to use one of these extra banner ads for this demonstration. So I believe that there's one already. This is the one that we're going to add. So as you already know, once you upload the image to its respective field, then we can just simply copy the widget, right? Copy the widget. And since we have the name of the widget and the shortcode widget equals, I can just simply add this to the menu, and then it's going to show up on that login page as well. Before doing so, just verify that the display banner advertisement is set to yes. You don't want to start troubleshooting the image not showing up because this was set to no. So just make sure that that's set to yes, because this is a banner advertising widget. So once you copy the widget and the shortcode, jump over to the menu. And what we had here was, like we just saw, it was the wording here, not a registered user, and the button. So we're just gonna get rid of all of that and paste the widget bootstrap theme banner responsive size 2 widget. So the shortcode all inside brackets, right? Because that's necessary. If you want to leave that as a link to the checkout page, that's fine. But you might as well just update that to a different link, right? You can go ahead and update the link.
So that one would be reliant on the link you put in the design settings for the banner ad. If you go back to the banner ad, so you actually could leave that blank. It'll be that the link that you,
this one.
Yeah, so because it's going to be rendering the widget there, it's already going to include the image and the link. So you actually don't need any of the CSS either for the link or text CSS. The nav you want to keep, but you can go ahead and just delete all that.
Correct, because this was giving the idea of a button, right? This is the class. These are the classes that create a button. So yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that because we don't need that. We're going to use the widget. So like Jason said, it's going to use the link that we add here on this section for your banner. And then we can leave the nav on the LI right here. Now let's go ahead and save the changes. Right, perfect. So just to review, we have the name of the widget with the shortcode. We got rid of everything that was in here, and we just leave the nav. All right, so let's jump over to the login page, and let's hit refresh. And now we have the login button and underneath the banner that we just added. So super easy. You can again link this to whatever you might need. Just make sure that you add it on the right place, which is this, because you're using this widget. And then you have another place where you can add a banner. So keep that in mind. Super useful and very easy to set up.
Yeah, that's a great tip. If anyone has any questions about these links, feel free to use the raise your hand feature in the GoToWebinar panel. We can answer a question or two about this. And then, yeah, Rick, this banner ad thing is really nice. I mean, the buttons are nice. So even if you're just asking for general registrations or asking people to register on your site, creating an image that has a little more life to it is always helpful. And it doesn't need to link to a sponsor. It could just link to somewhere else on your own website, or it could just be a placement for a sponsored banner ad as well. So let's see if anyone has their hand up here. All right, Linda has her hand up. Let me unmute your microphone, Linda. How are you today, Linda?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks. Do you have any questions on this?
My question is, so I have my regular members, the consumer, and then I have business signups, and then I just added business to business. So how would I add that button on there? Because I saw you delete some CSS code thing. So how am I going to add a third button on there?
Certainly. How about if we take a look at your site and add that third button together?
Okay, housetohomepros.com.
Okay, Rick, I'm gonna take over.
Yep, yes, sir.
All right, let's check out the current page here. And we'll just allow my location. Okay, so you have the two buttons here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just follow Rick's steps and go to the menu manager. And you do have it, the login page links. So you have these two here. Let's go ahead and clone one. Okay, so the framework of the design that all the BD sites are built on is called Bootstrap. That's not really too important. What's important to know is that the full width of a Bootstrap page is 12 individual columns. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 columns. So when we click Edit here, you'll notice there's something called col MD6. So that means that this module is going to be 6 columns wide, which is half the space. And the second one is also going to be 6 columns wide. And therefore you have one button that's taking 50% of the space and another button that's taking the other 50% of the space. So if we have 3 buttons, we just have to do a little math in our head and know that we want to change that 12 divided by 3 would be 4 here. And that way we have 3 modules. Each of them are essentially 4 Bootstrap columns wide. So this is the one I just cloned here, the third one. I'm also changing it to 4. And I'll go ahead and save my changes. And you can have, now you have 3 buttons here. And again, you can modify the text accordingly. Obviously, you want them to be the same amount of height. Now, let's make one of them a different color as well. And let me just show you. So we noticed that they're blue, green, and green. Where are those colors coming from? Let's go to the design settings. And what you have in your design settings, one of the modules here is your default button colors. So also with Bootstrap, there's basically 6. You've obviously customized them to be to match your theme, but there's primary, info, success, warning, danger, and default. So there's 6 button colors. They could be whatever colors you want them to be, but you can essentially then use them freely around your site using classes. So let's go back to your menu manager. And if we open the Edit tab again, we can see that the first link is using BTN-danger. So it's using the danger color class. And in this case, we see that danger is, you've made it blue.
Okay.
And that's why we're seeing blue here. So if we want to change one of the greens to another one, I'll just go to the bottom here and we'll change it. So right now they're both success, BTN success. I'm just going to change it to warning, another one of those 6 that you have. And again, this is good because when you use different buttons around your site, even if they're different colors, they'll always match the theme colors that you have. So now you have blue, green, and yellow. You can obviously change it to info or default and whatnot. So now you have the 3 buttons here.
Okay, perfect.
All right. All right, good question there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another strategy would be to make them all 12 columns. And just Linda, I'm going to revert it back, but I'm just going to quickly make all of them the full 12 columns. And that's basically going to stack the 3 buttons on top of each other. So just to show you, changing it 12, because 12 columns would be a full width on a Bootstrap page. So let me duplicate this tab. And we can see you can add additional spacing and stuff, but this would be another way that you could potentially style it. So you can have 3 boxes or 3 full width lines as well. And it does sound a little complicated at first, but once you can just do a little bit of the math in your head, it's really simple to kind of manipulate the column width of some of these elements here. So I'll switch them back to 4 for you. All right, no one else has their hand up. Rick or David, do you have any final notes on this topic?
No, it's just very useful. A very useful place for you to add more information and to make it easier for your users, right? They're going to be using that page quite a bit. So yeah, take advantage of it.
Awesome. All right, Rick, well, thanks so much. I know that this video will come in handy in the replay.